And the person was hosted in the lands of the sun, terras do sol, and they had very important dreams. But they saw many things in the dreams about that area, and they received many impulses, but they did not understand quite well what that area is about. For us to understand something, like this, the land of the sun, or like Figueira, we would have to have the clarity about its goal. We should be informed or notice the goal, its goal. That goal is not written out here in banners. This goal is in the inner planes. So in the inner planes, the work is done. The work is complete. So in the inner planes, the lands of the sun and Figueira, they are complete. It's all ready. So our work would be to interiorize ourselves, to go inwards, to silence our minds, and to be in contact with the energy of the place, with the energy of the group that is there. The energy of Figueira as a whole is in a neutral way, in an impersonal way, and in the most silent possible. Then we'll start to understand, and we'll start to capture what we must understand and what we need to capture. In the inner planes, it's all clear. It exists and it works. In the external planes, it doesn't always work in the same way as in the inner planes. It's always like that, everywhere. So we would have to, in order to be before something, we would need to interiorize and try to find it in the inner planes. Because in the external plane, things are very dependent on people. So in the external plane, things can oscillate, things can interrupt. Of course, when a person leaves in abundance a task, things can accelerate. When someone comes and collaborate, so the situation changes, oscillates at every minute. So externally, it is all built little by little, implanted little by little, shows up little by little, and little by little it's more and more similar to its model in the inner planes. An instructor called Moria, he would say that because of this oscillation of people, many possibilities are lost, and many possibilities are delayed to be realized, because people are unstable, because the external situation is unstable. This instructor said that we can't calculate how much humanity loses because of this personal oscillation. And he thinks it's normal in this humanity on the surface. When there is not this oscillation and instability, it's just an exception. It's a special situation, some situation in which it all happened in the past, and now people are mature and in a different level. But the normal thing is to oscillate here and there. Today I am, tomorrow not really. So you must be connected with what it is up there. And this instructor said the following, that this oscillation of people this instability, assuming or assuming less, it's because of the following. When the person distances themselves from something that belongs to the planet, it's because of their presumption. And when they reapproximate, it's because of the self-love that they have. So you see the level in which we are out here. But we should ask ourselves, to each one of those who distanced, what offended them? Because there is no other reason but to be offended. They were offended in some point. So those who were before this with a lot of neutrality and personality, they will ask right away, what offended you? Because then, who knows, they could heal that. This instructor said that every time that someone distances themselves from a place like this, it's because they were offended. They were at the level of personality. And when they remain as a personality, it's because of self-love. So the love of that individual must be worked on. The love of that individual must be purified, must be elevated, because then the self-love or offense won't be there. But it's a process. But in the inner planes, monads, souls, already have this clear. And the work is more realized. The work is more completed. I'm sorry to say it like this, but it's the person's question, and I couldn't not say these things because this is interesting to all of us to reveal our position in a clearer way. But this instructor said that with ability we can hide the true reason of our movements. With skills, we could deceive ourselves, we could deceive others, we could present reasons that are not the ones of self-love or offense. And we can pretend and put a different reason, a different motive. But he said that this only polishes the floor. When you can explain it very well, when you can tell a good lie, it's only to polish the floor. So that will only clean the floor. But even if the floor is clean, that will not remove the blisters on the soles of your feet. And for those blisters to begin, you will need some painful process. Imagine if we were after these things, we wouldn't do anything. We need to know what the goal is, we need to look inwards and be safe up there, because tomorrow could be our turn to go through this whole oscillation, and if we are steadfast up there, our test will be in a different way, because these are tests that all go through. But when we are steadfast up there, we should have some laws in mind. We should be in contact with some laws, living some laws, or studying some laws. And this should be above our personalities, our games of emotions, thoughts, self-love, offenses. These laws are above them. And we have the laws of human evolution that we could consider And there are the laws of superior evolution that we must also consider. If we want to consider the laws of superior evolution, we won't be able to, because we have the laws of human evolution to experience, to fulfill, to develop within us. So we have several laws of human evolution that they don't solve the matter by themselves. You could only evolve at a human level, but you must also have a superior evolution. So this should go at the same time. Many times the laws of superior evolution that you need to identify with the divine plan, you need to be in a superior law. Only with the human one you won't be able to get there. So you need a superior law. You need to experience a superior law. And the law of human evolution could help, could complete, could prepare the way, the path for you to enter a law of superior evolution. For example, adaptability is a law of human evolution. There's nothing superior about it for you to be adaptable. It's something that you should solve within your bodies. You must solve it in your human field. Your human part should be adaptable, but spiritually, to be adaptable is for you to learn how to adapt your bodies to the energy of your soul. This is adaptability. It's not a person to arrive here and effort to adapt to schedules. They cannot do it. They must adapt their bodies to the energies of their soul, so that their bodies can remain where the soul is indicating. And this is, the personality must do this work. And if the personality adapts, if those bodies adapt to the energy of the soul, of their own soul, then those bodies will start to also adapt to the knowledge that soul is trying to give. If the bodies do not adapt, the soul could know many things, but they won't transfer it to the conscious. So the conscious won't have the strength to be there in the drawing of the goal that the soul proposed. The second law of human evolution that is necessary for us to be at the right place, doing the right thing at the right time, is the law of compassion. Humanly, the individual must have this in their lives. The law of compassion should be developed in their personality, and the law of compassion in this case means for them to know the need of others, not their own, and to do things according to others' need, to know where they are most necessary, where they are most useful, where their presence will be more useful. Of course, it's others, not themselves. It depends on their human part. If their human part is not formed in this matter, they won't reach to be in the task, in the plan, about some other needs that is not their own. So this is the compassion that they must have developed. But if the individual in their personality already developed compassion, they could mature enough to see what others need. So they will do according to others' needs. In superior evolution, they will enter the law of consecration. That is, they will live, they will be around a higher plan, they will consecrate and be more and more whole. But for this, it's necessary for their personality to have enough compassion and give into this compassion and live this compassion. Otherwise, they won't be able to be consecrated ever. they will only be responsible for something out of interest or because they are being compensated somehow, but they won't give of themselves out of compassion. They're not giving of themselves spiritually. They're giving because they need to. They need others, so they're faithful to those, but out of need, not out of compassion or out of a real reason. And the third law of human evolution, which we must understand and to accompany these things without oscillations, is the law of economy. In this case, is for you to be very attentive in order to not waste energy with that which is not the level of your consciousness, with that which is not the level of your comprehension. So if your comprehension in the face of a spiritual realization, in the law of economy in your human level, you must remain in that energy, not waste energy with things of other planes, other levels that are not about that. So this is a disorganization from the spiritual point of view. And this law of economy, lived at a human level, spiritually, it will bring us the possibility of detachment. This is very important in this evolutionary level because we need detachment to detach from our reactions, from our fake, from our false needs, or to detach from needs. So a person could have real needs that correspond to their consciousness, but if you're in a different level of consciousness, you need to detach from your needs, from your lower levels, from the levels that are not in the ones that you're developing now. So this could be very important for us to examine this picture and examine ourselves and be attentive to see what law of human evolution we are in crisis in and what level of superior evolution we need to advance a little or recognize a little. And the fourth law of human evolution is the law of discipline. Discipline is something that depends on you humanly, because discipline means for you to find the means of aligning your material forces, your mental and emotional forces, etheric and physical, to your superior forces. This is discipline. Discipline is not for you to follow things in discipline. This is the fruit of discipline. Because if you're not working to align your material forces, your mental and emotional forces with the superior forces, you're not in discipline. Even if you have organized schedules, you won't be able to follow it. You get sick, you'll get tired, you'll be in crisis. A lot of things will happen because you do not have discipline. It's not that external discipline is not good. Any external discipline works. Discipline is within you. If you have already managed to align your personal forces to your superior forces, any external discipline will work for you. You will be good in all of them, because discipline is not this here, out here. This is just for the functioning of things, for natural development and material development of things. Discipline is something else. Discipline, you must get it in your human evolution. You will connect to a law of superior evolution, which is harmony. You will never manage to get harmony within you and in your life without discipline. So first comes discipline. First you need to connect personally, materially with your superior levels, and then harmony comes, and then you will be harmonious. Then everything will be in harmony. When are you harmonious? Harmony is when your conscious life is in a superior pattern. This is harmony. It's not when you're dressing well with a nice haircut or smiling. You're in harmony when your conscious have already received the patterns of your superior levels. So harmony is something that happens gradually. You gradually become harmonious, not when you learn how to walk properly, to wash. You will become harmonious when your conscious enters the patterns of your inner levels, of your superior levels. And the law of human evolution, which comes for us to be in the face of the evolutionary plan, with evolutionary work, in a stable way, in a coherent way, and in a whole way, is within the human part, in human evolution, the law of stability. You need to be stable in a human way. That is, you need to be continuously elevating your being. This gives you stability. Stability is not for when you take anxious medications and you remain in the same place. No, it's for you to be in that work continuously. It's not necessary to do it rapidly. This is not requested. It's done gradually, little by little. You will elevate yourself. But if you elevate ourselves 2 and 3 steps and then you fall, this is lack of stability. So you must elevate yourself and not interrupt that. You should measure your degree of elevation. You should place yourself in a movement that you can bear, which is good for you. And it varies from person to person. Some can elevate themselves faster than others. Others will be slower. It doesn't matter. What matters is for you to always elevate at your pace. If you adopt a rhythm that is not yours, that is more accelerated or slower, you won't achieve stability. You won't be able to elevate yourself always. You'll stop at a certain point or fall off or try to hurry and you will be out of balance. So you need to realize your pace. You need to enter your harmony and do it in a stable way. Elevate yourself at a stable way. What will happen in superior level if you elevate gradually and in a stable way? What will happen is your polar integration. Only in stability that your masculine and feminine aspects will integrate. That man and that woman that exist within you, they won't integrate, unite if you're not stable. Stability is necessary for you to be a united being, for you to no longer be a man or a woman, but to be a union of these two polarities, a united being. But for this, you need this stability at a human level, because there's this polarity integration of masculine and feminine, what solves all the problems of relationships that exist in this world and humanity. For you to reach this resolution, for you to reach this integration, you need stability. So stability has a deep spiritual repercussion, because you will unite, you'll be balanced in the face of gratitude. Is another human law. It's when you have understood that you must receive everything that comes to you as an evolutionary opportunity. So whatever happens to you, you must be in the law of gratitude. Whatever it is, you must understand it as an opportunity for you to work on yourself, to evolve, of growing, of elevating yourself. So this is gratitude, and it's a human thing. Because humanly, you can accept something. And also, humanly, you do not accept something. And if you do not accept, you won't enter the law of superior evolution, which is the law of manifestation, so that nothing lacks in any level of your being, from the material to the spiritual, for nothing to be missing, for you to be in the law of manifestation on all levels. Humanly, you need to be grateful. You need to accept that which comes, that which is up to you to solve, that which comes to you. And then you have free will. You're in the law of free will, and according to what you decide in the law of free will, according to what you decide in the law of free will be the degree of love in which you will be in spiritual evolution, in superior evolutionary law. So for you to be in superior love, for you to have superior love to donate, and for you to understand superior love, for you to live with superior love, this is very difficult, for those who are just in the law of human evolution, because love is confused with all human characteristics, so it's very difficult of real superior love if you don't use free will in a correct way. So at the time of your choices in free will, you should keep in mind all the laws of human evolution that you have already developed, because then you'll have a more mature free will of someone who developed adaptability, that has compassion, discipline, detachment, stability, gratitude, who has developed all of this. They will have a very different free will from someone who has not developed this. So someone's free will, if they have developed their human part, is a lot superior as a quality and universality to the free will of someone who is tied in some of those things and couldn't solve them in the law. In the law of human evolution, we find the law of merit. This law is very important for us to enter the law of sacrifice, which is fundamental. No one changes without it. And the law of merit is what we can humanly control. It's the law of merit that we develop and that we know. Our opportunities of evolving they come according to the efforts that we made. So in this point, those who do not strive to evolve, they won't enter the law of merit. The law of merit is not what you do, is not what you practice. You could practice very positive acts and important ones, but you could not be in the law of merit. You enter it when you are striving to always practice something better. Because there's no merit in this of doing something positive, but for you, it's normal, it's natural. You've been through that point, so it's that. The law of merit is when you are even more positive, even more elevated, but with effort. You're still working to improve, even if you're positive, otherwise there's no merit. Merit is not a prize. It means the key for you to enter the law of sacrifice, which is a law that leads you to understand what is necessary in a wider way and leads you to channel everything that's necessary for the wealth of all. So the more you're in the law of merit, the more you're developed in sacrifice, and more you're channeling well, you're being a channel of good. This is gradual, this is it depends on how you are in the merit and how you are in the law of sacrifice. Haven't you seen so many people who are positive and then they stop there? They crystallize, they don't go any further. The law of merit, they didn't develop the law of merit because they already... We must be constantly in the law of merit, constantly striving to be more, to understand more, to identify more with the plan. This does not end, it's infinite, and sacrifice is also infinite because you could do something good that everyone could do, and you could do greater good, but for you to actually make a good universal good thing, for you not to have limitations in the field, you need sacrifice, you need to be in this law. And then the last law of human evolution mentioned here, which is the law of forgiveness, and without it, you cannot be in silence. You cannot enter the law of silence, because if you do not forgive, if you don't understand you, your life, your path, your own self, you won't be in peace to be in silence. And this law of silence is one of the most elevated of superior evolution, but you could only be in silence when you forgive. And forgiving others is very simple for some, but forgiving oneself, this is the thing, and the law of silence becomes real. And we need silence to really take an evolutionary step. So here is all the preparation until we reach this silence. But this forgiveness is very important, because we are works of the one and only. We are creation of the one and only. We're part of a unique creation, and by not forgiving or accepting is to deny a part of that creation, is to be separate from that creation. So you must see the whole and keep this creative law in mind, the source of from where everything is emanated, because this has such a strength that the silly thing of worrying about that and seeing what you represent as a particle of the whole, this won't allow you to be in silence. Allows strength and all us are preparing for a step, and then we enter a new stage. But we would have to see this preparation with attention, ask for help for our inner nuclei and the hierarchies to carry out this preparation until the silence gradually takes place, and at a certain point all is guarded in this silence, and we will really walk in a different way and walk in other levels of consciousness.